Yes, everyone, it's that time. It is I. Welcome to the final cut as we take a look at a film from the 90s that's finally getting released from Visual Vengeance and Wild Eye. And we are talking about Heartland of Darkness, written and directed by Eric Swelstad. We get the story of Paul Henson and his daughter Christine Henson, who they're opening up a newspaper in a small town. Well, soon as the newspaper is starting to get on its feet, there's definitely a story going on because people are starting to show up dead. And as they investigate these deaths, they learn that the sheriff isn't doing much about them, and there's something going on in town that just doesn't feel right. And it seems to be centered around Reverend Donovan, who, after meeting a couple of times and being to one of his sermons, things really don't seem like they're on the up and up in town. And as Paul and Christine and their staff reveal more secrets about this town, they soon discover that Reverend Donovan may be answering a calling. It's just not the calling you might think. We see how all these things ramp up, things get dark and demonic in Heartland of Darkness. This film was a lot of fun. Now, yes, it was made in the 90s. It's been in limbo for quite some time, and I'm quite happy that it's finally coming to light. One, it's really well edited. I really liked how this story plays out. It keeps you interested. You're wondering, where is this going? The Reverend Donovan character, played by Nick Baldassare, was fantastic. I loved this guy quite a bit. You meet him, you realize right away there's something quite off about it, but he puts in such a great performance, chewing up a lot of scenery and just having fun in this role. And he was he was great. But everybody does well in here. Dino Tripodis, and I hope I pronounced these names right. I'm sorry, playing Paul Henson. He's great as this guy who's just trying to catch up and figure out what's going on. His daughter Christine, played by Sharon Klopfenstein, really does well in here. I loved her role and how she is really picking up on things a bit quicker than her dad, but yeah, she puts in a solid performance as well. And what's interesting is a lot of these folks, this was their only film. Shannon Cornell, who is also on the newspaper staff, shows up. She's played by Shanna Thomas, and I loved her role in here and her performance. It's done well considering when this was shot, and this was first time in front of the camera for many of these people. It's a decent 90s horror film. We got Linnea Quigley showing up in here, which was great to see her. She is just having fun in the Julia role. She doesn't get a lot of screen time, but the screen time that they do give her, man, she you could tell she is finding some delightful deviance in the Julia character, and it was great to see her in this movie. Yeah, I mean, if you like your 90s horror and you're looking for another Linnea Quigley film you may not have seen, check this out, but see it for more than just Linnea. It's got the interesting story. It moves along nicely, well edited, competently made for sure, and it's got a fun ending too. There is blood in here, and the makeup effects are done fantastically for the budget this was most likely shot on. I mean, all kinds of practical effects going on in this film. And check it out. It'll be out, I believe it is November 8th on physical media. And if you're a fan of this era of horror, it should be on your must-watch list. So thank you for watching and listening to me ramble. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already. Down below, click subscribe and like and all that, and look for my interview with the director and writer of Heartland of Darkness to drop later this week, early next week. So thank you again, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.